What is up, everybody? Welcome to Our Geeky Podcast. We are back with the video podcast, and we will be doing this, I think, regularly now. This is going to be our go-to.
Yeah, I think this is the thing.
This is the thing now.
Yep.
This is the thing now. So,
Get used to it.
you have to look at... Well, you don't have to look at our faces, but you do have the option to look at our faces, I suppose is the correct terminology, because we still will be doing the audio podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud and Stitcher as per usual. But this, as you can see, is on the YouTubes now. So
Visuals.
Exactly. As per usual, my name is Alex, and you are...
I'm Ryan.
Thank you for reminding me. Good. That's why
It's
I
fine.
forgot.
I've been this way for 27 years.
Yeah, cool. I haven't been that way for I don't know how long, but as Lady Gaga said, I was born this way. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As always, this is the podcast where we talk about everything we're geeking out about this week, and it's been a week. It's been
It's been a bit different.
Yeah, exactly. We had some full-on stuff. The big thing was right after we recorded last week.
Yeah. After we recorded last week, we got a new Star Wars trailer drop.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which of course we're keen for.
Yeah, very keen.
As
for.
everyone with eyeballs and half a brain is keen for.
Yeah.
Because
damn right.
Jiminy Christmas. I mean,
it's definitely lining up to be a great step in an ever forward direction. Like it's just they're up and up and up with this series. So it's just
it's so good.
It seems like we're finally leading to what everyone's waited for. Like there's no more behind the curtain. It's just everything is out now, and it's just it's going balls to the wall. It's just
It seems like it's going to be in the same way that Empire Strikes Back was. It's going to be like the darker turn in this trilogy.
Yeah, it seems that way.
It seems, which I'm excited for, to see the sort of darker direction they can take it in.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see how that title comes to play, like sort of thing. It's gonna. So, like we've spoken about this before. Is it the Last Jedi is in plural, or is it Jedi is in singular? So it's gonna be interesting to see which way this goes. I mean, we get a couple of glimpses of Kylo, like with the scar, without the scar. So it looks like there's some flashbacks going on in there.
Well, before he was Kylo Ren, even when he was still just
when he was younger, he was
Ben Solo.
Yeah, that's right. So,
training under Luke, and we get that. That line from Luke is, I think, it seems to be referencing Rey.
Yeah,
saying, I've seen raw potential like this only once before. It didn't scare me. It didn't scare me enough then, but it does now. So, obviously throwing some tension into that sort of relationship between Rey and Luke, and the big one at the end of the trailer, teasing possibly Kylo and Rey team up.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that scene was prior to Kylo having a scar, so it's going to be it seems like there's things have happened. The timeline is a bit odd. I don't know how much timeline we're seeing in this new movie. We're getting a look at Snoke now outside of the
giant hologram.
His
dope gold robe.
Yeah, and when we got people thinking that like Snoke's actually a woman, because when the toys were released, the toy seems to depict breasts.
Right.
So it's
I mean, could have just had moobs.
Maybe could be old, and
he looks pretty old.
The Force is forcing everything down.
Force of gravity.
The force of gravity. It's the strongest force.
On those boobs.
So yeah, we seem to we get a couple of different glimpses in this trailer. Also, you get like the look at Rey actually using her ability and seeing the rocks
tapping
fly
into the Force,
and her little journey, almost a bit of a head nod to Luke's journey, like the plantation planet that she goes to, and I mean, there's no real clarity around why she's there yet, but it looks like we're gonna see her go on a very similar journey to what Luke.
Well, it seems like the reason she's there is that's where Luke was hiding.
Yeah,
and she's gone there to obviously train under him. Him being what one of the theories is, he is the Last Jedi.
Yep.
So to train under the Last Jedi would be, obviously for a Force sensitive individual like Rey, would be the ultimate goal. So
yeah, very much
particularly when she's trying to fight the the First Order.
Yeah.
And Kylo Ren and such.
Yeah.
So.
But it's very exciting. There's some good scenes in there that seem to lead to it. It's going to be an amazing movie and a turning point in the Star Wars trilogy again.
I'm
very keen.
So ready.
I feel like we're going to have the same experience that we did like when we saw The Force.
Hopefully we're not rushing back from the city.
Yeah.
That's hopefully. But
that was an experience.
Yeah. I think, I think part of that, because I've said on the podcast before about how much I really enjoyed The Force Awakens. Not necessarily because it was a perfect movie, just because I kind of got the magic of Star Wars. I think part of that went into us spending the previous 2 weekends marathoning through the 6 films in the series up to that point.
Yeah. And I think it does really build you up. Like, gets you excited.
Exactly. And it gives you that extra level of appreciation for, for the work. You're not just seeing a film, you're seeing the next chapter in this saga with
that has just gone on and on for so long. The lore is just
unreal. So I think we're definitely going to do that. Obviously do that.
Yeah, I think it's going to give us the right amount of hype running into it.
It's pretty high at the moment.
It's high now, but I think
the hype trains, especially after seeing the trailer, the hype trains in.
I think for us it's going to be when we hit The Force Awakens, all that nostalgia that we felt when that came out is going to hit us again, and we're just going to be like, I literally am counting down. Like, people are counting down to Christmas. I'm counting down to Star Wars. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. We want to hear what you guys are looking forward to about Star Wars as well. If you could leave us a comment, let us know down below what you're looking forward to.
And what you thought of the trailer as well.
Yeah, and what you thought of the trailer.
Any theories, speculation about what...
Yeah, fan theories. What did you pick up inside it that maybe we missed?
Exactly right.
Little things that you picked up on that would find interesting. Just let us know down below. We'll be happy to give you a mention. But it's definitely something that we're looking forward to.
For certain. Yeah. God, I remember that was... I remember I had so much fun that night. Not just because of the film, but I think I said, like, I don't want to be racing back from the city. I think that extra, like, the added pressure to be there in time for the midnight screening just added that, and we were coming back from
it was adrenaline got there. Exactly. Excitement and
I remember because we bolted, because we were leaving our work Christmas party where we said at Melbourne Aquarium, and we said goodbye to maybe 3 or 4
people. Yeah, and that was a rush on the way past.
Exactly. It was like, I can't go without saying goodbye. So I'll say goodbye to him, ran out into the car, and then, like, went back. And I forget if there was, like, an accident or there was just, like, a massive amount of traffic.
There was roadworks going on the main road.
That's it.
And we had to take the
scenic route. So we took a back route.
Which we really didn't know where we were going.
No.
We knew the road, but we didn't know how far down said road we had to go. Until the point where we're just like, you know what? This is the turn off. This is where we have to go. And we had guys behind us trailing. And they're just like, we just got onto the main road. We're like, whatever you do, don't go onto the main road.
Yeah.
Don't open zombies inside.
It's a trap.
It was a trap. Like, it's a trap. It's a trap. They had to follow us onto the road that we didn't know where we were going, and they still made it there on time with seconds to spare. That was thrilling. That was really. And
I still remember the moment, like, a packed theater. There were people, like, that had dressed up doing a bit of cosplay. Yeah. We were in costume, but not for Star Wars for our
party, which was kind of convenient for me because I went as a pirate, which dressed down kind of got me onto the Star Wars.
I was in a blue morph suit with shorts over the top, so it didn't really dress down that much for me, unless I was going as part of the set for the prequels because I'm a blue screen.
Yeah, true.
Basically,
you were part of the CGI team.
There you go. Yeah, so that was a little... But yeah, so people dressed up, and I remember, got through the credits, and then the Star Wars logo popped up on the screen, and just the cinema erupted in, like, cheers, and it was just...
It's one of those moments.
Yeah, it's the first time I'd experienced something like that in the theater. Like, I've had... I remember, I forget what movie it was, but I've been where people sometimes, like, applaud at the end of a film.
Yep.
But I've never had that where just... the logo, and I think just the anticipation of waiting this long
that entry
for
music,
exactly, just the first note with the Star Wars logo, and just the crowd just going nuts.
It
and it's
was
just like
insane. Yeah, and everyone was on the same level, and it was like, and that's I felt that before. I felt it like you get that vibe when you go to UFC fights, you go to concerts and stuff like that. Everyone's kind of like, we're all here with the simple goal to enjoy what's about to happen, and to get that in a movie. And it was across many generations. There was so many different ages
it's so cool because you've got the original Star Wars fans, because Star Wars came out in the 70s. So we're talking 40 years.
Yeah.
So the original fans, let's say 40 years ago, up through the original trilogy, through to kids who got introduced through the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
And then even younger kids with their parents who'd been one of those previous two generations, being like, this is we're seeing this together, this is going to be a thing. So you've got so many different age brackets, and having all those different people come together just to appreciate this one thing. That is the magic of Star Wars.
I think. So, and that you're right, that it's all these different generations coming together for something that's across the board loved.
It's just universally loved.
And we felt that the original nostalgia. We really felt the original nostalgia when we watched that.
I remember it wasn't the best movie I've ever seen. By no means was Force Awakens the best movie I've ever seen.
No.
But I remember walking out of that cinema feeling something I hadn't felt seeing a movie before or since. And it's just that it's hard to describe, but just getting swept up in all of it. And just I certainly enjoyed the movie, and upon repeat viewings there have been things that the critiques that you could be better.
Find after
the big one is basically saying it's a New Hope
2.0.
Which they're valid criticisms, but I remember walking out and just being like, I don't know if it was the most enjoyment I've got out of a film, but if it wasn't, it'd be damn close. And just, like I said, that sense of just being part of something, I think, that I'd never felt in a cinema before. Was seeing a movie, so it was great. So suffice to say, we are very keen for The Last Jedi to come out.
No, I couldn't agree more.
Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait another 2 months, month and a half.
The good thing is we've got milestones in between that can
we've got stuff that should be able to tide us over. Like Thor is the big one.
Which we discovered is not far off.
It's closer than I had it in my head that it was in November. And it's the end of October.
It's very close.
It's like 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks for us.
Which I'm sure you've heard us mention once or twice that we're uber keen to see. Maybe once or twice we've mentioned that.
Exactly.
But that's very close. And the only reason we found that out is because you saw the billboard on the way to the Grampians on Saturday.
Because we went to the Grampians, which for some photography stuff, because you are obviously a very talented photographer.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I'm trying to learn how to do photos. I'm trying to learn to...
Step 1 is learn to vlog.
Do making pictures. There you go. Exactly. If you're not sure what that's referencing, it'll be the EB Expo video, the vlog that...
His solo vlog. Go to
solo
his page,
vlog because as we said last week, we didn't plan that well in terms of getting both of us up to the Gold Coast, so I had to go solo.
But I'm going to PAX.
Yes, we just found out today you're going to PAX. I'm not, so there you go. You can do
I'll
some
pick
of that.
up the baton.
Exactly right. But if you haven't seen it yet, check out on our channel the EB Expo video, which I will say it's the first video I've edited. Start to finish. So I feel like I did a good job. If you don't think I did a good job, keep that to yourself and say nice things in the comments.
Only nice things, thumbs up.
Only nice things. Exactly.
Subscribe. Click the bell notification.
Plus. But so we were on our way to the Grampians on the weekend to do some photos and stuff. And it kind of boggles my mind. I've watched a bunch of photo tutorials and that sort of thing, mainly Peter McKinnon, because he's one of my favorites and one of your favorites.
Very much so.
And I go in and I do some touch ups, and there's been some photos that I took a couple of photos that I took where I'm like, that's pretty good. The one thing I need to figure out is ISO, because so many of my photos I found out afterwards were so overexposed. I think because it was that bright out. Yeah. And I had like the auto ISO going.
Yeah, sitting in auto ISO does that.
Yeah, so that's, and again, that's it's a learning experience. So, but then seeing the photos that you took, it's like they came out so awesome. Like, honestly, like I'm not just saying this because I'm your mate or whatever, but they came out so great. Huh?
You're my model too.
Well, there you go. Honestly, one of the photos he took is already my display picture on Facebook. So
if you want to check him out, Ryan Berry Photography, and there's if you check out Alex's Facebook page, his display photo is one.
Also
of my
on Instagram, I use a different one.
And on Instagram, there's a photo of him on Instagram that's also.
I mean, you can follow me on Instagram as well at Alex Haggis Pinch. I'll put up a couple of the photos that I took. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
it was a great day as well. Got up.
Solid weather.
It was perfect.
Once the clouds opened, like it was warmer than I thought. Like, I got sunburn on the back of my neck, on the back of my legs. I didn't even realize it was that hot. But solid weather for it. If you haven't been to the Grampians, go and check it out. It's like a theme park, an outdoor theme park, but there's like no rides or anything. It's more like there's so many places to go and see and look at stuff within the one place.
Yeah, I think it was as you say, especially this time of year with the weather starting to pick up and be nice and not raining every 3 days. It's a great time to do it. We've been really lucky the couple of times we've gone out to do
the days have worked out quite well.
We've been really, really lucky with the weather.
Which, I mean, being in Melbourne, it's very hard to pick the weather.
Like chocolate with the weather.
Especially on a Saturday, you're like hoping for a flush to get that kind of weather. Yeah. But no, I appreciate that. It was a very photogenic area. If you haven't been, make sure that you try and go there a little bit earlier. If you're wanting shots without people, because it seems to
that was your big pet.
That was my big pet.
Trying to take photos and.
I don't like children on a good day, but when they get into my shot, it's taken me like a good 20 seconds exposure to get right. Like, it's just does my head in. So there was a couple of photos that didn't make it to the final reel because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying to you, it would have been really awesome, a lot of those shots, if we had got there just at golden hour. If we'd just gotten there at the crack of 6 in the morning, a lot of those shots, I mean, it's a long drive, it would have been really hard.
I was going to say, we would have had to leave at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
And we kind of, I feel like we would have had to have known where we were going. Like, we would have had to have this photo done.
Exactly right, yeah.
To make sure we got the most of that time.
Exactly.
Which, getting down to the waterfall would have been fine. It was the getting back up that was the problem.
Yeah, you get that sort of exercise aspect is because it's a very steep way down.
Yeah.
And some of those steps I was saying are like, it's not just like,
there's barely a foot gap to get your foot on.
There's some big steps. So on the way down, it's not that easy on the way down. But then on the way up, it's a
different experience.
It's a tough slog up.
Like, I saw some of those older people walking up and I'm just like, okay, it shouldn't be that bad.
It's pretty bad.
Wow, I needed to make base camp like 3 times. I had supply oxygen that was just gone.
Yeah.
Me and Ash were talking on the way up that they should invest in an Uber Sherpa just so I could call in an Uber Sherpa and help me out. It was full on. But that's what you work towards fitness for, to make sure that doesn't happen.
And that's kind of what I had in my head, is because I admittedly, I kind of left you and Ash. Because I had it in my head.
Shut off ahead.
Exactly, because I went into it thinking that I wasn't going to go to gym the day after, which I ended up going anyway. So I was like, all right, this is going to be my leg workout for the weekend. So I was just like, all right, cool. And I didn't bolt off. I did when that sort of lookout bit.
Yep.
I took a sec there, mainly just to take my jumper off because I was boiling at that point. But I tried to just keep a steady, consistent pace up without, doing too much. So that was the kind of thinking I had in my head, was using it as kind of a workout. But that's I think a good aspect of it as well, is you get out amongst it, you walk around. I think we ended up walking, or at least I ended up walking about 7.5 Ks throughout the day.
Yeah, I think that's about
all
right.
up.
Yep.
So you get that sort of exercise aspect of it, I suppose, which is a good way for a lot of people to exercise. Is going to the gym can be a little bit intimidating, but when you're just going out, walking around, just getting a little bit of, you don't have to sweat it out in a gym. You can just go out for a walk and get some exercise.
And now we're getting photos out of it. We're getting like hangout time out of it as well.
Exactly right. So
it was good. And if there's things there that are just like, yep, this is obviously somewhere you need to take a photo. But there's places there that, like, if you have a bit of creativity in your brain, like where I got those shots of you and Ash, if you walk past and you just go, well, that's just 2 rocks. I'm like, well, that could probably look like a cave if you edit it right. And I think that's the result that we got. And they came out like really, really good. So if you haven't been, check it out. Go straight to the top of the lookout to start off with. That's where we went. Work your way down to the waterfalls and the lake. Make a day of it. It's really awesome down there, and you won't be disappointed for photos.
It's a good day to just get out amongst nature. Just get out of the city. Get out of suburbia for a little bit.
And that was the big thing that we sort of noticed when we got to the top. It's just you literally don't know the sound of silence.
It's silence. Like normally, we were saying, like when you're around here, when you get quiet, there's cars going in the background. There might be a plane overhead. There's something.
Cars taking off, and
there's just there's like
sirens
noise.
usually.
It's quiet, but when we were up there, we were just like, hang on a sec, and it was nothing.
It was, and it was surreal.
No sound. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great to just like experience that, and I think that's what I'm really appreciating out of these trips is just a chance to get out of just because a lot of times we get into this sort of just the routine and the sort of bubble of that routine.
Yeah.
Of just, this is my era, we go to work, we come home, we watch YouTube or whatever. But going out on these trips is, one, not only is it great because, I'm learning photography, you're doing the photography, so I'm adding that skill to my arsenal, hopefully. But it's also nice to just get out amongst nature a little bit and just break the routine a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And it makes you look at things differently. Like, you like one of the shots that you took that you're editing currently. Stay tuned because you'll probably see it soon. It's stuff like that makes you look at things in a completely different light. Like, you can see trees, you can see that stuff, but through a lens and through like the right composition, you change the normal into something different, something abnormal. And
change perspective, and
awesome that some of the stuff that you can get out of, like, I took a photo of a stack of rocks. Yeah. But it's how I took the photo of a stack of rocks that makes it interesting.
And one of I think probably the best photo, or my favorite photo that I took that day, the one you were just talking about, it's literally the focal point of that photo was a fence.
That's all it was.
It's a corner of chain link fence. But again, as you were talking about the composition, and we'll chuck it up.
Yeah.
Just it's how you use that surrounding. Like you were saying about the rocks, it's like, oh well, it's just the rocks, and we were standing on top of them before. It's like, well, I mean, if you look at it this way and you edit it this way, this is basically a cave.
Yeah.
And you can do that by adjusting all those things.
One of the photos that I took just before we move on from this, that I don't know if you've had a look at yet, but take some time to have a look at it. One of the photos I took, the timing was, I couldn't have timed it better if I really tried. I'd done a long exposure or a stack in Sony's thing of the first waterfall we saw that I'd done through the fence, that had like a wire fence, and I've timed it to the point where it took enough photos for it to make the waterfall flow, but where the bubbles have rested on top of the water, they're all circulated, so it's taken enough of them to print out different pictures within the bubbles. And they're like different circles, so like as the bubbles have come out, they've landed in different spots, so they look like there's like flowers spread out, or there's they're just making different shapes. Awesome. And I didn't realize till after I took the photo that happened. So but definitely it's worth a trip.
For sure.
And we'd like to see your work. If you've taken photos up there, let us see your perspective, so what you've taken that's probably a little bit different. And
do you have any suggestions for other places that are just good for photography for a trip? Let us check it in the comments down below, because we're keen to do some more of these.
Oh
things.
yeah,
we might even vlog one of them.
We're eventually working up to that. I think I really want to do some of that stuff next time we go out. It's just one of those things where you're switching between video to photo to video to photo to video to photo the whole time.
Yeah,
it's so much easier when you got I'm set up with the GH5 for video. I'll be set up for the Sony and it's we're getting there. But
eventually, when we can afford 74 cameras like Casey Neistat, we'll be fine.
And when Ash comes through for us and gets us a drone,
give a drone a home, Ash.
Give a drone a
home.
But yeah, or if you'd like to donate a drone, that'd be awesome. Mavic Pro, fly more pack, that'd be great. Exactly. So yeah, that happened as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was our weekend. That was that was really awesome.
Very
and
much.
Yeah, I feel like but there's the more time we spend out, the more content we're just going to get of it. I mean,
exactly
I know it's not
right.
nerdy or anything, but it's still something it's interesting. It's something that we do.
Well, I think the thing about nerdy is that I forget who it was, but somebody said, I think it might have been Chris Hardwick actually in his book Nerdist, or The Nerdist Way, which is sitting right over there. You can be a nerd about anything, because being a nerd just basically means you're like one, knowledgeable, and two, passionate about something.
That. Yep.
Like you are a nerd for photography and videography.
Yep.
I'm a nerd about wrestling. There are people who are nerds about sports and just know, like, you know, stats and all that sort of stuff. You can be a nerd about whatever you want. Mm-hmm. There is this idea that nerdy is just like, it's, you know, comic books and superheroes and sci-fi and that sort of thing. But I mean, a lot of people are very passionate about that sort of stuff. But those are the two qualifiers to be a nerd about something. Is knowledge and passion. So I think
very true.
In that circumstance, pretty much you can be, as I said, you can be a nerd about anything. So
that's right. It doesn't mean you don't need to love maths and wear big glasses.
Exactly right. You don't have to have, you know, pocket protectors and all that sort of stuff. You don't have to be the stereotype that everyone puts out.
I don't even know where to get a pocket protector, to be honest.
I don't think it's a thing, really. Surely there aren't people who are actually like lining their pockets with, I think, like plastic to protect
them from ink.
Yeah, surely. Just don't put your pen in your pocket. Just put it somewhere else.
Yeah. Like in a lid.
Yeah. And
in your pocket.
Yeah. Or like in a pencil case or something, or in a jar or whatever.
I don't know.
How
are we doing with time?
We'll probably
wrap it up.
What's your best place to put a pen? We'll put that in the comments down below as well. Thanks for watching, or if you're listening on the audio podcast, thank you very much for doing that. As always, if you haven't, click that subscribe button, give the video a big old thumbs up. We very much appreciate it. And if you haven't rated or reviewed the show on iTunes, we'd very much like that as well. If you want to follow myself, I'll pop my links and Ryan's links in the description down below. Yeah, that's about
us
it
for this week.
Yeah, I'm Alex.
And I'm Ryan, and stay tuned for next week, because we've got something special going on.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a big one next week. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.